Are you taking medications that could be silently increasing your risk of stroke without you even knowing it? If you're over 65, this question should concern you deeply because millions of seniors are unknowingly putting themselves at greater risk every single day by continuing to take certain medications that may have worked for them in the past but are now doing more harm than good. The reality is that as we age, our bodies process medications differently. What was once safe and effective in our 50s or 60s can become dangerous in our 70s and beyond. Your liver doesn't clear toxins as efficiently, your kidneys don't filter as well, and your brain becomes more sensitive to chemical changes. Yet many doctors continue prescribing the same medications without adjusting for these crucial age-related changes. And many seniors continue taking pills they've been on for years without questioning whether they're still appropriate. The 4 medications we're going to discuss today are commonly prescribed to seniors, and while they may have legitimate uses, they carry significant stroke risks that often outweigh their benefits, especially as we get older. These aren't obscure drugs you've never heard of. These are medications sitting in medicine cabinets across the country, taken daily by millions of people who trust that if their doctor prescribed them, they must be safe. But here's what's truly frightening. Stroke is the 5th leading cause of death in the United States, and a leading cause of serious long-term disability. Every 40 seconds, someone in America has a stroke. For seniors, the risk doubles every decade after age 55. When medications unnecessarily increase this already elevated risk, we're talking about a serious threat to your independence, your quality of life, and potentially your survival. Today, we're going to arm you with the knowledge you need to have an informed conversation with your healthcare provider about these 4 specific medications and what safer alternatives might exist for your particular situation. Stay with me until the end because this information could literally save your life or the life of someone you love. The 4 medications we need to discuss today are medications that millions of seniors take without realizing they're walking a tightrope between benefit and serious harm. These drugs have earned their place on what geriatricians call the potentially inappropriate medications list for older adults, yet they continue to be prescribed and taken with alarming frequency. The first medication is a class of drugs called first-generation antihistamines, with diphenhydramine being the most common example. You know it better as Benadryl, but it's also found in many over-the-counter sleep aids and cold medications. While this medication can provide relief from allergies and help with sleep, it crosses into your brain and can significantly increase your stroke risk by affecting your heart rhythm and blood pressure. In seniors, it can cause dangerous drops in blood pressure when you stand up, irregular heartbeats, and confusion that can last for days. The second group consists of certain muscle relaxants, particularly cyclobenzaprine, commonly known as Flexeril. These medications are often prescribed for back pain or muscle spasms, but they carry serious cardiovascular risks. They can cause your heart rate to become irregular, your blood pressure to fluctuate dangerously, and can interact with other medications you're taking to create a perfect storm for stroke. The third category involves certain antidepressants from the tricyclic family, such as amitriptyline. While depression treatment is crucial for overall health, these older antidepressants have significant effects on your heart and blood vessels. They can cause your heart to beat irregularly, affect the electrical system of your heart, and alter your blood pressure in ways that dramatically increase stroke risk. The fourth and perhaps most concerning group includes certain anti-anxiety medications from the benzodiazepine family, like lorazepam or diazepam. While anxiety is a real and serious condition that deserves treatment, these medications slow down your central nervous system, can cause dangerous drops in blood pressure, and significantly increase your risk of falls, which can trigger strokes through head trauma or the stress response from injury. What makes these medications particularly dangerous for seniors is that your body processes them differently than it did when you were younger. Your metabolism has slowed down, which means these drugs stay in your system longer and build up to potentially toxic levels. Your brain is more sensitive to their effects, and your cardiovascular system is already working harder to maintain proper circulation. Many seniors are taking these medications not because they're the best choice for their current health status, but because they were prescribed years ago when the risk-benefit ratio was different. Perhaps you started taking that sleep aid when you were 60 and experiencing temporary insomnia after a life change. Maybe that muscle relaxant was prescribed after a minor injury when you were 65. The antidepressant might have been started during a difficult period in your life when you were younger and healthier. The problem is that medicine is not a set-it-and-forget-it situation. Your body today is not the same body that first started taking these medications. Your needs have changed, your risks have increased, and safer alternatives have become available. Yet many people continue taking the same medications year after year without reassessment, and many doctors continue renewing prescriptions without fully considering whether these drugs are still appropriate. To understand why these medications become so dangerous as we age, we need to look at what actually happens inside your body when you take them, and how aging changes this entire process. Think of your body as a sophisticated factory that's been running efficiently for decades, but now some of the machinery is working more slowly, and some of the quality control systems aren't as sharp as they used to be. When you swallow a medication, it doesn't just magically go where it's supposed to go and do what it's supposed to do. It travels through your digestive system, gets absorbed into your bloodstream, circulates throughout your entire body, gets processed by your liver, and eventually gets filtered out by your kidneys. At every step of this journey, aging affects how efficiently and safely this process happens. Your stomach produces less acid as you age, which means medications may not dissolve properly or may be absorbed unpredictably. Sometimes you get too much of the drug in your system, sometimes too little, and sometimes it gets absorbed so slowly that it builds up to dangerous levels over time. Your liver, which is responsible for breaking down and neutralizing medications, doesn't work as efficiently. Enzymes that used to quickly process drugs now work more slowly, meaning medications stay active in your body much longer than intended. Your kidneys, which filter waste and excess medications from your blood, also become less efficient with age. This means drugs that should be eliminated from your system in a few hours might stay active for days. When medications linger in your system longer than they should, they have more time to cause problems, interact with other drugs, and affect systems they weren't meant to target. But perhaps most importantly for stroke risk, aging changes your cardiovascular system in ways that make these medications particularly dangerous. Your blood vessels become less flexible and more prone to damage. Your heart muscle may not pump as strongly or as regularly as it used to. Your blood pressure regulation system becomes less responsive to changes. When you add medications that affect your heart rate, blood pressure, or blood flow to this already vulnerable system, you're creating conditions that can trigger a stroke. These medications can cause your blood pressure to drop suddenly when you stand up, leading to decreased blood flow to your brain. They can make your heart beat irregularly, which can cause blood clots to form and travel to your brain. They can affect the electrical system of your heart, disrupting the coordinated pumping action that keeps blood flowing smoothly throughout your body. The sedating effects of these medications create additional stroke risks that many people don't consider. When you're drowsy or confused from medication, you're more likely to fall. A fall can cause head trauma that directly triggers a stroke, or it can cause internal injuries that create blood clots. The stress of an injury also triggers inflammatory responses in your body that can destabilize existing plaques in your arteries, causing them to break free and block blood flow to your brain. Even more concerning is how these medications interact with each other and with the natural changes happening in your aging body. Many seniors take multiple medications, and the combination effects can be unpredictable and dangerous. A muscle relaxant that might be relatively safe on its own becomes much more risky when combined with a blood pressure medication. An antihistamine that causes mild drowsiness in isolation can cause dangerous confusion when taken with other sedating drugs. The impact of these potentially dangerous medications extends far beyond the immediate stroke risk, creating a cascade of physical and emotional challenges that can fundamentally change how you experience your daily life. When you're living with the effects of medications that are no longer appropriate for your age, you're not just risking a medical emergency, you're potentially sacrificing your independence, your confidence, and your joy in everyday activities. Physically, these medications often create what doctors call a medication fog that many seniors mistakenly accept as a normal part of aging. You might find yourself feeling dizzy when you stand up, confused about conversations you had yesterday, or unsteady on your feet when walking across familiar rooms. These aren't inevitable consequences of getting older. They're often side effects of medications that are affecting your brain and nervous system in ways they shouldn't. The dizziness and balance problems caused by these drugs don't just make you uncomfortable, they steal your confidence. You might find yourself avoiding activities you once enjoyed because you're afraid of falling. You might stop going to social gatherings because you're embarrassed about feeling confused or disoriented. You might give up hobbies that require steady hands or clear thinking because these medications are affecting your coordination and mental sharpness. The fatigue that comes from these medications is particularly devastating because it's often dismissed as normal aging when it's actually a treatable side effect. You might find yourself sleeping more during the day but not feeling rested. You might lack the energy to cook proper meals, maintain your home, or engage with family and friends. This isn't laziness or depression. It's your body struggling to function normally while dealing with medications that are suppressing your natural energy and alertness. Emotionally, living with these medication effects can create a sense of helplessness and loss that goes much deeper than the physical symptoms. Many seniors describe feeling like they're losing themselves, like their personality is becoming muted, or their thoughts are wrapped in cotton. You might feel frustrated that you can't think as clearly as you used to, worried that family members are noticing your confusion, or sad that activities that once brought you joy now feel overwhelming. The fear of stroke that comes with understanding these medication risks adds another layer of emotional burden. You might lie awake at night wondering if the pill you just took could be the one that causes a stroke. You might feel angry that no one warned you about these risks earlier, or guilty that you didn't ask more questions about your medications. You might feel caught between the fear of stopping medications and the fear of continuing them. This emotional stress creates its own physical problems, raising your blood pressure, disrupting your sleep, and weakening your immune system. Chronic worry and anxiety actually increase your stroke risk independent of any medications, creating a vicious cycle where the fear of stroke contributes to the very condition you're trying to avoid. Many seniors also experience a profound sense of loss of control over their own health decisions. You trusted your doctors, you followed their instructions, you took your medications faithfully, and now you're discovering that some of those medications may have been putting you at risk. This can shake your confidence in the entire healthcare system and make you feel uncertain about making any health decisions at all. The social isolation that often accompanies these medication effects compounds all of these problems. When you don't feel sharp mentally, when you're worried about falling, when you're exhausted all the time, you naturally withdraw from social activities. But isolation itself increases stroke risk and worsens depression, creating another harmful cycle that affects both your physical and emotional well-being. Let's address some of the most common misconceptions about medications and aging that might be preventing you from taking action to protect your health. These myths are not just harmless misunderstandings. They're dangerous beliefs that can keep you trapped in situations that unnecessarily increase your stroke risk. The first and most pervasive myth is that if a doctor prescribed it, it must be safe for you forever. This belief assumes that once a medication is deemed appropriate, it remains appropriate regardless of how your body changes over time. The truth is that what's safe and effective for a 60-year-old may be dangerous for the same person at 75. Your doctor prescribed those medications based on your health status at a specific point in time, but your body has continued aging and changing since then. Another dangerous myth is that older medications are safer because they've been around longer. Many people believe that newer drugs are riskier because they haven't been tested as extensively. While it's true that newer medications sometimes have unknown long-term effects, many older medications were approved before we fully understood their risks in elderly populations. The 4 medications we've discussed today are perfect examples of older drugs that we now know pose significant risks to seniors, but they continue to be prescribed because of this false sense of security around familiar medications. Many seniors believe that natural aging should feel uncomfortable, so they accept medication side effects as normal parts of getting older. This myth prevents people from recognizing that dizziness, confusion, fatigue, and mental fog are often medication-related problems that can be resolved, not inevitable consequences of aging. You don't have to feel terrible to be getting older, and accepting preventable suffering doesn't make you strong or realistic. There's also a widespread belief that stopping medications is more dangerous than continuing them. While it's true that some medications should never be stopped abruptly, many of the medications that increase stroke risk in seniors can be safely discontinued or replaced with safer alternatives under proper medical supervision. The fear of stopping medications often comes from not understanding that the risks of continuing inappropriate medications can be much higher than the risks of stopping them. Some people believe that if they haven't had problems with a medication so far, it means they never will. This myth ignores the cumulative nature of medication effects and the way aging changes your body's response to drugs. Just because you tolerated a medication well for years doesn't mean it's still safe for you now. Your risk profile changes as you age, and medications that were once appropriate may now be creating dangers you can't see or feel until it's too late. Another common misconception is that doctors automatically review and update medications during routine visits. Many seniors assume that their healthcare providers are constantly evaluating whether their medications are still appropriate. But the reality is that medication reviews often don't happen unless patients specifically request them. Doctors may focus on new symptoms or immediate concerns without systematically reviewing all existing medications, especially if they're being managed by different specialists. Finally, many people believe that they need to choose between treating their conditions and avoiding stroke risk. This false choice prevents people from exploring safer alternatives that could address their health concerns without the dangerous side effects. For most conditions treated by these high-risk medications, there are safer options available that can provide effective treatment without significantly increasing stroke risk. Now that we understand the risks and have cleared up the misconceptions, let's focus on practical steps you can take to protect yourself while still addressing your health needs. The goal isn't to stop treating your conditions, it's to find safer ways to manage them that don't put you at unnecessary risk for stroke. The first and most important step is to schedule a comprehensive medication review with your healthcare provider. This isn't the same as a regular appointment where you might mention that you're doing fine with your current medications. This is a dedicated conversation specifically focused on evaluating whether each medication you're taking is still appropriate for your current age and health status. Prepare for this appointment by making a complete list of everything you take, including over-the-counter medications, supplements, and even occasional sleep aids or pain relievers. When discussing the 4 high-risk medication categories with your doctor, come prepared with specific questions. Ask about safer alternatives for sleep problems instead of first-generation antihistamines like Benadryl. There are newer antihistamines that don't cross into your brain and cause the same risks. For sleep issues, your doctor might recommend melatonin, which is generally safer for seniors, or behavioral approaches like sleep hygiene improvements that can be surprisingly effective without any medication at all. For muscle pain and spasms, instead of risky muscle relaxants, explore physical therapy, gentle stretching routines designed for seniors, heat and cold therapy, or topical pain relievers that don't affect your entire system. Many seniors find that regular gentle movement, even just 10-15 minutes of simple stretching daily, can provide significant relief from muscle tension without any medication risks. If you're taking tricyclic antidepressants, discuss newer antidepressant options that have fewer cardiovascular effects. There are several classes of antidepressants that are much safer for seniors while still being effective for depression. Additionally, consider non-medication approaches that can significantly help with mood, such as regular social interaction, light exercise like walking, engaging in meaningful activities, or even pet therapy if that appeals to you. For anxiety management, instead of risky benzodiazepines, explore relaxation techniques, mindfulness practices, regular gentle exercise, or therapy approaches specifically designed for seniors. Many people find that anxiety decreases significantly when they have regular routines, social connections, and physical activities that they enjoy. Sometimes what we think is anxiety is actually a side effect of other medications or unaddressed physical discomfort. Nutrition plays a crucial role in reducing stroke risk and can sometimes help with the conditions these medications are meant to treat. Focus on eating plenty of colorful vegetables and fruits, which provide antioxidants that protect your blood vessels. Include omega-3 rich foods like fish, walnuts, or flax seeds, which support brain and heart health. Limit processed foods, excessive salt, and added sugars, which can contribute to inflammation and blood vessel damage. Stay hydrated throughout the day, as dehydration can worsen confusion, dizziness, and increase stroke risk. Many seniors don't drink enough water because they're worried about frequent bathroom trips. But proper hydration is essential for your brain and cardiovascular system to function properly. Movement is medicine for stroke prevention, but it doesn't have to be intense or complicated. Even gentle activities like walking around your home, doing seated exercises, or simple stretching can improve circulation, strengthen your heart, and reduce stroke risk. The key is consistency rather than intensity. 10 minutes of gentle movement every day is more beneficial than an hour of exercise once a week. Sleep quality affects everything from your mood to your stroke risk. Instead of relying on medications, create a consistent bedtime routine, keep your bedroom cool and dark, avoid screens for an hour before bed, and consider relaxation techniques like gentle breathing exercises or listening to calming music. Social connection is a powerful medicine that many people overlook. Regular interaction with family, friends, or community groups can reduce depression, anxiety, and even stroke risk. If mobility is limited, phone calls, video chats, or even participating in online communities can provide meaningful social connection. Monitor your blood pressure regularly if possible, as this gives you valuable information about how lifestyle changes and medication adjustments are affecting your cardiovascular health. Many pharmacies offer free blood pressure checks, or you can invest in a home monitor that's appropriate for seniors. As we reach the end of our discussion today, I want you to understand something fundamental about this stage of your life. Taking control of your medication safety isn't about admitting defeat or acknowledging decline. It's about claiming your right to age with dignity, clarity, and strength. You have the wisdom that comes from decades of life experience, and you have every right to apply that wisdom to your healthcare decisions. The 4 medications we've discussed today don't have to define your future health. Every day that you continue taking medications that increase your stroke risk unnecessarily is a day you're not living as fully as you could. But every day you take steps to address these risks is a day you're actively choosing your best possible future. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress and making informed decisions that honor both your health needs and your desire to live independently. Remember that advocating for yourself with healthcare providers isn't being difficult or demanding. It's being responsible. You know your body better than anyone else, and you have the right to understand what you're putting into it and why. When you ask questions about your medications, when you request safer alternatives, when you insist on medication reviews, you're not questioning your doctor's expertise. You're participating in your own care as an informed and engaged patient. The changes we've discussed today, from medication adjustments to lifestyle modifications, don't have to happen all at once. Start with one small step, whether that's scheduling a medication review, trying a new approach to sleep, or adding a few minutes of gentle movement to your day. Each positive change builds on the others, creating momentum toward better health and reduced stroke risk. Your age is not a limitation. It's a foundation of experience and resilience. You've navigated challenges throughout your life, adapted to changes, and found solutions to problems that once seemed overwhelming. Addressing medication safety is just another challenge where your experience and determination can serve you well. Don't let fear of change keep you trapped in situations that compromise your health. The temporary discomfort of adjusting medications or trying new approaches to managing your conditions is nothing compared to the devastating impact of a preventable stroke. You deserve to live your later years with energy, clarity, and confidence, not clouded by medications that are no longer serving your best interests. If this information has opened your eyes to potential risks in your own medication routine, please don't wait to take action. Schedule that appointment with your healthcare provider this week. Print out information about the medications we've discussed today and bring it with you. You're not being overly cautious, you're being appropriately protective of your most precious asset, your health and independence. Your journey toward safer medication management starts with a single conversation, a single question, a single decision to prioritize your long-term well-being over the comfort of maintaining the status quo. You have the power to reduce your stroke risk starting today, and that power lies in the choices you make about your own care. If this video has provided valuable information that could help you or someone you care about, please subscribe to our channel for more health education specifically designed for seniors. Leave a comment letting us know where you're watching from, and please share this video with friends or family members who might benefit from this important information. Together, we can help more seniors live healthier, safer, and more independent lives.